Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Jack Stocken's beginner class. It's great to see so many people tuning in, and for anybody who's unable to be here this morning, I hope you can watch the replay over the Easter period and enjoy the lesson at your leisure. So, without further ado, we'll welcome your teacher down. Here we go.
Morning.
Hi, Jack.
I'm back.
You're back. You look. Was it a bit chilly?
Sorry?
It's a bit chilly where you are?
No, it's okay. It's 10 degrees. It's quite mild in Harrogate. I think spring is in the air.
Oh, lovely. Okay. There seems to be a good class this morning.
Yes. And more coming in as we speak. We're having one of those putting it all togethers this morning, where we go over the lessons for over the last 5 or 6 weeks.
That can be quite challenging.
It's challenging, but it's important, because we only have 1 hour for the lesson. So rather than just going on and on and on with the 1 hour lessons, it's good to take a step back and just review what we've done over the last 4 or 5 weeks.
So how do you think the class is going, Jack? How do you think they're progressing?
I think they're going very well. Yes, they're no longer beginners. They are beginners / improvers. And they're going very well. Some of them are playing online. Some are probably playing face-to-face. Practice, of course, is the key. And quite soon, actually, Franny, this beginner class will be promoted to the improver class.
I think that they seem pretty much advanced.
Yes, that will happen around about the middle of May. And it's a very easy change. All that happens is instead of the class being at 11 o'clock, they would join the improvers at 9:30 on a Wednesday.
Oh, let's hope they can all adjust their diaries and commitments.
Yeah. But I think actually that should suit this class better because rather than having it at 11 o'clock in the morning, which is halfway through, we can have it at 9:30, so it leaves the rest of the day for doing other things, especially coming into the summer months when there's more to do during the day. So I think it'll be a seamless change, and we'll continue with the same curriculum. So we'll just be learning in the same steps that we've been learning.
And that's a pretty good group, the 9:31, isn't it?
Yes,
all right. Well,
one thing we're not doing is jumping to some kind of advanced level. We'll be learning at the same pace as we have, just will be at a different time.
Yeah. Well, that's really encouraging. All right. Well, I'll see you a little bit later. Enjoy.
I'll see you on the other side, Franny. Nice to see you back in town. And yes, Franny had a lovely holiday. She was telling us about it in the earlier class, back from her 4-week cruise. And where are we? We are ready to start, actually. We're putting it all together. So how can Declare try and make all 3 heart tricks there? What's the strategy? Just give you a moment to think about it. You've got to work out which hand you'd want to be in. Do you want to be in Declare's hand, or would you rather be in dummy? And good morning to those watching in replay as well. I know many of you do. Can't make the live class, but you can watch it whenever you like. Yeah, so we must start. I think the most important thing is we must start off in Declare here, mustn't we? To play towards dummies high cards. Nearly all finesses are low cards towards the high ones. So that's right, Mo. It doesn't matter, any of those hearts will do. 4 of hearts to the queen. And then if it wins, should we look at the answer? There you go. Yeah, 4 of hearts to the queen or the jack. A winning 50-50 finesse. And when it wins, come back to your hand in another suit and play a small one to the queen. The double finesse there. Some of you might still find finessing difficult. Don't worry if you do. It's actually quite normal for some players to take quite a long time to get their head round, the finessing principle. But again, practice is the key. I've opened one club. Over to you as south. Anything to do there? Or is it pass? What have you got? 14 points. Few latecomers in the class, which is great. We always welcome latecomers. Morning, MJ. Morning, Amanda, Errol. Roger's on board. Mo's loving that word. I won't try and pronounce it, Jane, in Scotland. Madeline's with us. That's okay, Charlotte. Good morning to you. Emma's back with us. So we are the overcaller. I think what's really important for beginners / improvers is who you are at the table. So East is the opener. West is responder now. And North and South are overcallers. And there's a golden rule for overcallers. I am going to give you an early get out of jail free card, no names mentioned. But to overcall in bridge, always, and I mention the word always, because some rules do change a little bit, you need a 5-card suit. Yeah, well, that's what this refresher's here for. People whose name begin with the letter M for mother. But is there a bid that we learned just the other day that shows a shortage in clubs, 12 or more points in opening hand, and support for the other 3 suits? This might be a little get out of jail free for this class. Yeah. Well done if you remember that. It does fit the criteria. S, O, S are the 3 things you need. There you go, look. Double. Well done if you did that without any prompts. Because it's a tricky bit to get your head around, really. That's why we're doing a little refresher now. If you forgot to double, you would have to pass, because 1 heart always shows 5 cards, and the 1 no trump overcall is 15 to 19. Okay. Well, only 6 points here, but a 7-card diamond suit. Is there anything to do there? And I think you'll find these refreshers, these putting it all together, is very useful for you. Because we have covered quite a lot of ground now. Most of us have been learning online with me since the beginning of October. Gosh, that's 6 months. Well done. And then you're getting promoted next month to the improver class. Although, as I keep on saying, and I will keep saying it, your lessons will be sequential. Yeah. So we have learnt about week 2. I think this might have been a recorded lesson for you on week 3s, but this is ideal for a preemptive 3 diamonds chain. Yes. So when you open at the 3 level in bridge, a 7-card suit with a couple of honours, bit of suit quality, but crucially 5 to 10 points. So week 3. Yeah. Well done if you did that. I love opening a week 3. Really mucks up the opponents. And if you had an 8-card suit with 5 to 10 points, you'd open 4 diamonds. Well done for those of you, again, who opened 3 diamonds there. How about this one? 6 points and 6 hearts. Anything to do there? And most of you opening 2 hearts here. Most of you right. Yep. So we have week 2s and we have week 3s. I think what's very important, though, is that 3 clubs is always weak, but 2 clubs, and this is a bid we'll look at quite soon, is always a strong hand in bridge. 23 points or more is the big one. Yeah. Don't ever open a week 2 in 2 clubs. You open a week 3 in 3 clubs, 7 card suit. But here we go, 2 hearts. Yeah. And a bit of etiquette, if you were playing at the table, face to face, I would open 2 hearts. You as my partner would announce the table weak. Yeah. Because there are 1 or 2 out there who still play it as a strong bid. There shouldn't be. Let's go and play hand 1 on BBO to put the theory into practice. And East opens 1 diamond. Sorry, West opens 1 diamond. Anything for North? Overcaller, they've got 12 points. So yes, it is important to work out who you are at the table. So North is an overcaller now. And it is a double. Well done. Again, if you did that. Satisfying SOS. Short in diamonds, doubleton, singleton or void. Short. Opening points or more, 12 plus. Could be 19, could be 20. There's no upper limit. And support for the other 3 suits. You really must have 3 cards in spades, hearts, and clubs. The reason being is that double effectively says, if you were speaking it in a sentence, it would say, partner, please bid your best suit. I've got an opening hand. East passes with 3 points. And over to South. What's their best responding bid opposite their partner's takeout double? And I'm going to give you a clue. And the clue, the get out of jail free, shall we? It's got quite a lot of use this morning, is have you got the fit in hearts and have you got enough points for game? That's the clue. You know your partner's got 12 points minimum and you know they must have at least 3 hearts. So it's those boxes, isn't it? I keep coming back to. Can we tick the fit box? The fit is 8 cards or more in a suit. Can we then tick the game box? I know you don't like ticking boxes, so I tick them for you. And again, very well done, because these sessions are quite tricky. These are the harder points of what we've done over the last 5 weeks or so. That's quite a tricky bid to make, that 4 hearts. But it is correct. You've got the 25 points and you got the fit in hearts. Again, well done if you bid 4 hearts straight away, though. Not easy. And the opening lead is what? Always good to practice the opening lead. That's a chapter in its own right, the opening lead. We do more lessons on that at a later date. And again, yes, Jack's favourite lead. I think we're getting quite good at that now. And what am I thinking about? I'm thinking about whether to draw trumps or not. Yeah. That's really what I'm thinking about. And what does West do at trick 2, do you think, having led the ace of diamonds? Well, it's interesting. Yes, I imagine most of you would play the king of diamonds. It's all very well, you win it, but then that sets up the queen of diamonds as a winner. Actually, you are best to switch here. So an experienced player, I'm talking someone who's been playing for 2 or 3 years maybe, would actually switch to a trump here. Yeah, it's not something we've really covered yet. But if in doubt, anyone know the rhyme? If in doubt, what the second half of the rhyme is? But give yourself a pat on the back if you switched. Don't mind the queen of spades, but actually the trump switch is the best of all. There you go. 1 or 2 of you will have heard the rhyme before. If in doubt, trump about. Yeah, you can lead a trump, actually, or switch to a trump. Yeah, that can be quite a good lead. Again, we'll look at that at a later date. That's made life a lot more difficult for us. So what do we do at trick 3? We're no longer going to make the king of diamonds because West was an experienced player. Again, they would have to be playing for 2 or 3 years to find this good defense. Maybe longer. Well, what's the main time? We've touched on this. I'm not sure we've done the lesson yet, but we have definitely touched it. What's the main time when we don't draw trumps? We've definitely touched on it. I think there's a lesson coming up soon. The main time we don't draw trumps, and the most lucrative, Madeleine and Margaret. Is when you can create a void on dummy. Yes. So we play a diamond to create the void on dummy. Again, another trump comes back. But we win with the 9 of hearts. We can come to hand with the king of spades. And crucially, everyone, we can ruff. And can we just marvel at that for a second or 2? So that has effectively created an extra trick for us. It's quite difficult. Again, rather like forgetting to make a takeout double. For less experienced bridge players, creating the void can be quite a tricky thing to get your head around. Again, lesson coming up in due course on that. But it is very lucrative because otherwise we'd have lost 3 diamond tricks. We've actually made use of dummies trumps. So now we're on the home stretch. We can play the ace of spades, trump of spades, get back to hand. It doesn't give us an extra trick, that, by the way. I just must point that out. But gets us back to hand to draw the last trump. And how do we play the clubs now? This is interesting. We've got a choice. Do you think we play the 2 of clubs to the ace? Try not to look at the east-west cards. Or do we play the queen of clubs first? What is the finesse position in clubs? 3 to the ace, opposite 3 to the queen. And yes, thank you for your patience last week whilst I was away on holiday. You had a pre-recorded lesson on week 2s. So you have now hopefully all learned week 2s. Relatively straightforward. And that lesson was on the 5th of March. So it is in your replay library, those who haven't caught up with it just yet. We only tend to have 2 pre-recorded lessons each year when I'm away on family holiday. We do have the occasional combined lesson, which we've been doing with the improvers. We'll be doing one of those in a couple of weeks' time, when again, I'm in a mystery location. Yes, no. So the common mistake is play the queen of clubs. No, that won't work. So we play to the ace. And the finesse position here is playing a small club towards the queen. That's your 50-50. You're always going to lose a club. It's a question of not losing two. And now, of course, if they play low, you win with the queen. And it wins. In practice, at this late stage in the game, it's not always second player play low. They would rise with the king of clubs. But either way, you make your queen. Yeah, 50-50. Slightly more difficult, that finesse position. But we are going to make our 10 tricks. And that's 620. Because we're vulnerable. 500 for the vulnerable game. And West defended that really well. Ace of diamonds and a trump switch made life quite difficult for us. You can see if they just play out the ace king of diamonds, which a lot of improvers would do, just sets up the queen of diamonds for us. Easy peasy. Draw trumps and just play out winners. And the final takeaway from that hand is when you've got that situation with the clubs, play towards the queen. That's your 50-50. And you only lose one trick. Right, let's go back to the classroom for more question and answer. Q&A. How can we try and make all 3 tricks there? In fact, maybe even all 4. What's our finessing situation here? You can be in either hand. Oh, I've got a bit blurred. Let me just speak to the hand. It's a trick Bashir taught me. Put the hand in front of the webcam. So, we're trying to make 3 or even 4 tricks here. What's our best chance? Do you play the ace king of hearts, like some of you are suggesting? Or should you play the 3 of hearts to the jack? There are many, many hundreds of different suit combinations in bridge, but these are the kind of basic ones. And again, if you find finessing quite hard at this early stage in your bridge career, that can be quite normal. Emma's changed her mind. Just in time. Because you're right. Yeah, this caption's slightly gone wrong there. But you play a low heart to the jack, yes. So 3 of hearts to the 6 and the jack, which wins. Then cash the ace king hearts. There's no more finessing to be done, by the way. There's only one time you can finesse here, and that's to the jack. If you'd have an ace king jack 10, by the way, then you would have had 2 finesses to do. So if you'd have had ace king jack 10, you play a small one to the jack, which wins. And you go back to dummy and play the 5 of hearts to the 10. Yeah, that would be the thing to do. And of course, you get all the tricks, even if he started with 4 to the queen, rather than 3 to the queen like here. The drop rule, Emma, we haven't covered it yet, but it's 8 ever, 9 never. So you have 8 cards you finesse, 9 cards between you play for the drop of the queen. Yeah. It's called 8 ever, 9 never. You can put it in an internet search if you want, for those who want more information on that. It's when you're missing the queen. But we're not talking about it right now. But you can put in 8 ever, 9 never at bridge into the search engine. Let's play hand 2 in our putting it all together session. And hopefully you've had some preempts of your own now. Great fun preempting. East is the opener here. 7 clubs. 8 points. What would East do, if anything, there? You don't have to alert weak 3s, by the way, because everyone does them. Yeah, so this is a classic 3 club. Bid. Would you bid anything with the south hand? You are vulnerable. They are not vulnerable. Well, I think you have to be a bit braver, when they've opened a preempt against you. I think that's a nice looking hand there. 6 really good spades, singleton club. It's a definite 3-spade bid for me here. Yeah. You do have to be slightly brave, and with a good suit, a good 6-card suit, only 11 points, but it's good shape as well, isn't it? Singleton club. Yeah. West, anything for them? Responding to the week 3 with their 11 points, 4 clubs. Watching in replay, would you bid anything now with the West hand opposite your partner's 3-club opener? Do we need a clue? Because we have covered responding to preempts. I think we need a clue. It's a get out jail free. It's been getting quite a lot of use today. We bid to the level of the fit. Do we remember what that is? Bidding to the level of the fit? Answer yes, no, or maybe. But the same if partner opened to week 2. We bid to the level of the fit. So the level of the fit, just to remind you, is you add up the number of trumps you know your side has got, and you bid to that level. Doesn't work opposite an opening bid of 1. Opposite week 2s and week 3 openers. So we know we've got 11 clubs between us. We bid to the 11-trick level. Yeah. As a kind of spoiling bid. Not really expecting to make it, but expecting to take bidding space away from the opponents. Because North-South could easily be making 4 spades. In fact, they do. So by bidding 5 clubs, you shut them out of the action. So it's a spoiling bid, kind of expecting to go 1 or 2 down, but stopping them making 4 spades. Anything more for North? It's good if you're getting answers wrong, by the way. It means you're in the right place and you're learning. And far better to make mistakes here in the classroom than you would, obviously, playing online or in real life. That's the whole idea. Make the mistakes here and learn from them. And hopefully remember the mistake. But quite often, I think with improvers and beginners, you may have to make the same mistake sometimes 2, 3, 4 times before it kind of sinks in, because it may not happen again for 3 months or 6 months. That's the beautiful thing about this game. Keeps you on your toes. Now, I've asked if we're bidding more on the North hand, are we? I don't seem to have many answers. Are you passing or bidding 5 spades? Well, 5 clubs could be making here. I think we've got a nice hand opposite partner's 3-spade overcall. They're promising a 6-card suit, or very good one. I think we should be bidding 5 spades. Few of you passing. Yes, we don't want to be done out of things. Jack's favourite lead. Thank you, partner, for the dummy. And let's play away. Okay, having led the ace of clubs as West, what would you do next, do you think? Which card would you play? Jack's favourite lead? Would you continue with the king of clubs? Well, the thing is, it can't be right to play a club because there's a void in dummy. Nearly always don't play to the void. Yeah, so I'm afraid to say, if you played a club now, you would give the contract to declarer on a plate. Yeah, if you played a club, I'll tell you what they would do. It would be the wrong thing to do. Hang on. If you play the king of clubs, look what happens. We trump in dummy and discard the losing heart, known as giving a ruff and a discard. It's the worst thing a defender can do. And we would now make the contract with ease. So well done if you switch. Don't mind, particularly, I think if in doubt, trump about. Next choice would be the jack of hearts there from jack 10. Third choice, a diamond, very dangerous from a king. But yeah, trump about, doesn't give anything away. Jack of hearts would have been okay too, promising the 10. And we win cheaply with the 10. Draw the last trump. Play a heart. Probably duck it. Now they switch to a diamond. And actually they don't switch to a diamond. I think they continue with hearts. We can trump a heart now. Okay, so let's just pause for thought. We've drawn trumps and we've played out the hearts. But the suit, we started with 7 between us. The opponent started with 6. They've divided 3-3. So we've got 2 heart winners there. Should we go and enjoy them? 8 of hearts is a winner. 1 diamond goes away. 6 of hearts is a winner. Another diamond goes away. But we can't get rid of that final diamond, I'm afraid. So we play the queen of diamonds from dummy. Which one from our hand? Try not to look at the east-west cards. Probably won't help you, actually. So yes, come and join us next week. We're practicing week 2s and week 3s. So I think we do need some practice on those, especially as one of the lessons was recorded on week 2s. Those slightly more experienced, we're doing responders rebid with the improvers at 9:30. You could try coming along to that. Yeah, just want to make use of your subscription. No, we should finesse. If East has got the king of diamonds, we're making this contract. Yeah, so it's right to finesse. If East has the king of diamonds, we're going to make this contract. But unfortunately for us, West has the king of diamonds. And we're going to be 1 down. Unlucky. But good defense. And we lose 100 actually because we're vulnerable. Would they have made 5 clubs? 1, 2, 3. No, they're 1 down in 5 clubs. But it was a very good bid, 5 clubs, because we'd have made 4 spades easily. And we're unlucky not to make 5 spades. The diamond finesse was wrong. Good. Let's go back to the classroom. Okay. 1 heart by West. North, which is me, has doubled. East passes. Over to your south. How do you respond to partner's double? What do we do, if anything? How are you getting on if you're watching us in replay? Good if you're watching in replay, because you can press the pause button before I go through the slides with you. So we must bid opposite a double, mustn't we? When East passes. Otherwise, if we pass, the contract's one heart doubled. They'd make it easily and score double the points. So we must bid one spade. Good, well done. Definitely prefer one spade to two clubs for two reasons. A, it keeps the bidding lower, and also spades are more important. They're the major suit. Okay, I've opened three clubs. Pass by East. Over to you as partner. What do you do, if anything, there? Can anyone remember we're not allowed to double, by the way. That'd be an illegal bid. You can't double your partner's opening bid. You have to double an opposition bid. So double would not be allowed. Can anyone remember the expression there? Opposite a preempt. What's the expression? Opposite a preempt. Either a week 2 opener or a week 3 opener. And I'm pleased we'll be practicing week 2s and week 3s next week. So I think they do need some practice. Charlotte, well done. Put up or shut up. Well done, Mo. That's it. So that means you either pass or support the clubs with a fit or level of the fit. So shall we look at the answer? You're allowed to change your mind. One or two of you changing your mind now, I think. Putting up or shutting up. We wouldn't introduce a new suit. You'll just get into more trouble. That's it. You know your partner's got 7 clubs. You've actually got a fit. Your partner might not have any spades, you see. Put up or shut up opposite a week 3 or a week 2 for that matter. Let's play hand 3 on BBO. Yes, Emma. Yes. That kind of depends. We will do some more responding to week 3s at some point. But yes, with 16 or more points, you might do something. But yeah, to bid 3 spades would be 18 points or more, forcing to game. Yeah, really to bid a new suit opposite pre 18 or more points and a good 6-card suit, game forcing. So it's extremely rare. Where are we here? So it's a 1 heart opening. Interesting. What do we bid with the north hand? 14 points. What do we respond with the 14 points there? We must bid with 6 points or more, of course. One spade, well done. Just simply suit to a suit. Longest suit at lowest level, well done. Be wrong to bid 2 clubs there. It'd also be wrong to bid 2 hearts. That only shows 6 to 9 points. So, as the bridge teacher over in Brighouse Bridge Club used to say, Doreen Adams, I now quote her, 6 to 26 is what North might have. They might have as low as 6 points, They might have as many as 26. 6 to 26. I quite like that. And what's South's bid now, if anything? Opener, South. It's always quite challenging, these reviews, putting it together, because I'm picking out the more difficult aspects of the last 5 weeks. But I'm sure it's been so far it seems to be very instructive. So we bid 2 diamonds. Good. Show our shape. And what next for North with their 14 points? Well, they know now South is showing 5 hearts and 4 diamonds. They've got enough points for game. So well done. They just jumped to 4 hearts. Goody good. Well done. Good bidding there from NJ, Emma, Errol, Charlotte, and others. King of Spades led. Margaret's got a good question. And Margaret's asking, do you assume opener has 5 hearts at the beginning? Good question, Margaret went, no, just assume 4 hearts. But most of the time they will have 5, but you must assume 4. Good question from Margaret. Right, well, I'm just deciding, I hope you are too, whether to draw trumps or not. There are times that we don't straight away. But for the moment, we just need to follow suit. Leading the king, followed by the queen. Okay, we're back in play. So what do we do next? Crucial moment has arrived. We are in South hand as declarer. If you're watching in replay, what would you do next? Draw trumps or something else? Well, if I just remind you that the main time we don't draw trumps is if we can create a void in dummy. So the technique for that is look for a side suit that's longer in declarer's hand than dummy. But do we start with the ace of diamonds, or do we start with the 3? But this is definitely a hand to create a void in dummy. We're going to try and make 1 or 2 extra tricks that way. But we start with the 3. The lower card from the longer holding. Otherwise the suit will get blocked. Noting the fall of the queen of diamonds, by the way. Hope you've noted that. I'm sure you have. And we've created the void, you see. So these 2 losers are going to be created into winners. Right, well, we've reached a slight kind of moment. Which trump do we play from dummy? Yes, Charlotte, we look for a suit when you're looking to create the void, longer in your own hand, declarer's hand, than the dummy. And if that is the case, they're nearly always right to create the void in that suit. But we are going to do a lesson on it, I think in a week or 2's time. Well, they played the queen of diamonds, didn't they, last time? So we should rough high, let's say, the jack. Now we can play the ace of clubs, followed by the king. Now, this won't give us an extra trick, but it will get us back to hand, okay? So that's important. We don't get extra tricks by roughing in declarer's hand, the long hand. Now we can play another diamond, look. Roughing high with the queen. And now we can simply draw trumps, playing the 9 of hearts to the ace and the king, and just give them a heart at the end. Comme ça. There we go. 10 tricks. So what happened there was we made 2 extra tricks by roughing those diamonds in dummy. If you hadn't done that, you'd have been 1 or 2 down. So it is a useful thing. And again, lesson coming on that in due course. So 4 hearts bid and made, that's 420. And important in the bidding, of course, to raise to 4 hearts, knowing of the fit. Let's go back to the classroom. Okay, I've opened 2 spades. A week 2, 5 to 10 points. 6 card suit. What's your response, if anything, with that as my partner? Watching in replay. Would you bid anything with that opposite your partner's 2 spades? Yeah, so good to be back with you live. As I say, you're all going to be promoted next month. It's very exciting. We don't give out certificates or diplomas, but you'll come and join the improver class at 9:30 in the morning. So not much of a change, really. I'm hoping that change will be easier for you. Have the lesson at the beginning of the day rather than kind of halfway through the morning. Well done. We're bidding to the level of the fit. I think we picked up on that from earlier. Yeah, you're probably not going to make 4 spades. I'd be expecting you to go 1 or 2 down, but I fully expect 4 hearts to make easily by the opposition. It's going to be really difficult for them to find a bid now over 4 spades. And of course, impossible for them to bid 4 hearts. So yeah, level of the fit. Yes, and don't, when you're doing it, if an authoritative 4 spades on the table, if you kind of, as though you're kind of intending to make 4 spades, it's actually the opposition. Don't know if you're bidding with a weak hand to spoil or a strong hand to make. And clearly, if you very nervously, like this, put the 4 spades, shivering, quaking with fear, on the table, they're more likely to double you. But an authoritative, like I would do, 4 spades. Yeah. West has opened a heart, North's made a takeout double, that's me. What next for you is South with your 14 points? Bearing in mind, thinking about those 2 boxes to tick, have you got the fit box? Have you got a fit in spades? And have you then, crucially, got enough points for game? This did come up earlier, something similar. Can we get to game here? And the answer is yes. Well done for those. Many of you bid 4 spades here. Well done. There it goes. And at the end it says South bids to game with confidence. Let's play our 4th hand. We're doing well on time. Lots of practice today. Let's have a little look at this one. So, what would you bid with the East hand? You're the opener, 6 points. Ooh, slight cough. Yes, it's a classic week 2. Hopefully you're getting into your week 2s now. We should alert it, playing online. Five to 10 points, yeah. If you're playing face-to-face, your partner alerts. You must never announce your own bids when you're playing face-to-face. You might as well show them your cards. Right, South is the overcaller. Anything to do there? 16 points. Good morning, Richard. Good to have you on board. Emma, NJ. Really, the bidding is pretty similar, defending a weak two, as to though they'd opened one heart. Yeah. So here we bid two no trumps. Good. 15 to 19. Put up or shut up from West, obviously. And anything from North. There is a Richard from Harrogate, but I think he comes to the improver class, Richard. You're from somewhere else, I think. You're not Harrogate based, I don't think. I think we asked you that. Well, knowing partner's got 15 to 19, got a lovely looking club suit there. It's an easy bit of three no trumps there, yeah. Yes, you're quite a long way from Harrogate. I thought you were. Lovely part of the world, though. Shipston on Stour. Right. And interesting, what's the opening lead? You'd love to have led a heart, your partner's suit, but you don't have one. Nearly always right to lead partner's suit. That would just do it. There's a bridge club in London, Richard, that does bridge weekends. The Andrew Robson Bridge Club. You can Google it in Fulham, in Parsons Green, where I used to work. So if you fancy going up to London, they do beginners and next step bridge weekends there. Just Google it. Called the Andrew Robson Bridge Club in Parsons Green in Fulham. They do weekend, Saturday, Sunday. That might be a good bet for you. Very friendly. Right. Well, actually, we should leave the King of Spades here. There are exceptions to the fourth highest. And it's when you've got a sequence of three honours. I think we have touched on this briefly. But if you've got three, always lead your longest suit. But if you've got three honours, start with the King. Good. Some of you know that. Some of you don't. Some of you might have forgotten. If you only had two honours, like 5 to the King, Queen, then you lead a fourth highest. But King, Queen, Jack, we lead the King. Right, counting certain tricks. I'm counting 7 there. Let's play away. I've made my strategy. It's a question of looking for extras here. And also, bearing in mind the bidding, remember, East has shown 6 hearts. Should we win the spade with the ace? Or should we duck with the 7? That's our first dilemma. And we have again touched on this as well. There will be a ducking lesson at some point in the future. But yeah, good to duck an ace in no trumps. I wouldn't do it in a trump contract, but in no trumps, nearly always the right thing to do. And do we duck again or win with the ace? Well, generally, if you duck once, it's a good idea to duck twice. Do you know what ducking twice is known as in bridge terminology? I think you do. There we go. Charlotte's on it. Quack, quack. Right, so another spade comes through. Yeah, NJ's on it. These hearts are useless. Right, well, let's go to dummy. Right, that's where we want to be. What card do we play next from the dummy then? Specifically, we've reached the kind of moment of truth. And yes, next week we are practicing week 2s and week 3s, which do need some practice. We've only just learned them. We've learned double now, which is good. We've got the 2 club opener coming up. That's going to be a lesson soon. Well, the thing is, the clubs are the certain tricks. Yeah? So remember, count certain tricks, look for the extras, but crucially, the third stage of the master plan, everyone, is to go for the extras first. So the clubs are our certain tricks. We don't want to play those out. No, they can wait. Where do you think we're most likely to get extra tricks from? Hearts or diamonds? Well, I have to tell you, we know that East has all the hearts. Our best bet is hearts. They would play the ace here, sensibly. And they'd switch to a diamond. Now then, what do we play next? Ace, Jack, or 10? Have we remembered, by the way, that West is what we call the danger hand in bridge? They've got 2 winning spades left. We can't afford to let them have the lead. Otherwise, we're toast. So even though normally we might take a finesse, if you finesse here, the king of diamonds is more likely to be with West, by the way, because East opened 2 hearts. They haven't got many points. So well done if you rise with the ace. Otherwise, they'd win with the king of diamonds, cash their 2 spades for at least 1 down. We can go back to dummy now. But which one do we play from the dummy? Quite a tricky hand, this one, by the way. Remember, 2 of these hands you can play and replay. We must overtake. We can afford to. Yeah, we must overtake because the 9 of clubs has gone. Because we need to be in the dummy to take another heart finesse. Again, they do best to cover with the queen. Back to dummy one final time, overtaking with the ace of clubs. Now we must cash the queen. This is our last time in dummy. Throw the diamond. Cash the 8 of clubs. It is a tricky hand, Charlotte, you're right. But it does show you how we can do. Again, finessing the 8 of hearts there. And we're going to make 10 tricks at the end of the day. It was a hard hand, though. The key to that hand, we have 2 important things to do there for you to take away. Firstly, was ducking the spade twice. That was a good play at the beginning with the ace. And the second good play was getting those hearts going. We actually made 3 heart tricks there, only losing to the ace. It was a hard hand, though. I agree with you. Right, back to the classroom. Just remember 3 things from today. Double for takeout when you have 12 or more points. And short in opener suit. Secondly, opening bids at the 2 and 3 level show weak hands with 5 to 10 points, apart from 2 clubs, which is always strong. And finally, most finesses involve playing your low cards towards your honor cards. A 50-50 chance. Madeline's asking, what is a preemptive bid? A preemptive bid, Madeline, is when you open at the 3 level or the 4 level with a weak hand. Do you remember the first Gulf War? They used to have something called a preemptive strike, where the goodies got to the baddies before they got to them. Yeah, that's a similar thing in bridge. An opening bid at the 3 or the 4 level takes all the bidding space away from the opposition. That's why it's called preemptive. Well, hang on a second. That's the end of the show. 12:01. We're there, Franny.
Yep. That last hand was something else, wasn't it?
Really tricky, wasn't it? Having to overtake the clubs as well with the jack of clubs and the ace to get to dummy, and then keep finessing in hearts over and over. Was a hard hand though, but we appreciate that, and I think the students realise that most of them probably wouldn't have made it.
I have to have a little review.
But I have a feeling it's what we call sometimes the power hour. I have a feeling that the students will have picked up quite a lot of things there.
Oh, I think so.
And again, a good one to watch in replay. And I advise to watch in replay normally a day or two after, the lesson, just to give, don't want to confuse the mind too much. But lots to learn, man. Yes, there's still a lot to learn. The good news is you're in safe hands with me, and we've got plenty of time to keep learning throughout the summer months as well.
All right.
Okay, that's it for today.
All right. So next week is?
Next week, we are practicing week 2s and week 3s because we've only really done a little bit on them. So that'll be good. The more experienced members of the class are welcome to join the Improver class at 9:30 next Wednesday, the 8th of April, Responders Rebid. But that's only, for the more experienced members. That's a reasonably tricky topic.
I think it's worth having a look, though, don't you?
Yeah, well, it's included in the subscription.
Yeah, I'm sure they can keep up.
Yeah, they've been playing 6 months, so I think that'll be okay for them. If they fancy an extra lesson Wednesday at 9:30. Other than that, Franny, I hear that you had you were telling us you had a very nice holiday, cruise.
Yeah, very nice. Very relaxing.
And you played some bridge, I think, as well.
Played some bridge, met some new people, and lots of beautiful swimming pools, and I love swimming, so that was good for me.
Perfect for you.
Yeah,
I'm the opposite of you. I hate swimming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to do it with the children, but only because I had to and kind of entertain them. But no, the idea of doing lengths in a cold pool is not my thing at all.
I think we all had to start so young because of drowning and that. Right. So, yeah, we didn't really have much choice. So you sort of had to get used to it pretty quickly.
Were you thrown in at the deep end?
It was just like, there was no discussion.
The pardon, yeah. Well, Franny, I better get going.
Well, that's it. So next week, and then eventually you've talked about the merge. So we look forward to all those changes.
Yes, they'll get plenty of notice.
Well, that's it for us. We'll all say goodbye, and I hope everyone has a lovely week.
Yes, and it's Easter for us this weekend. So happy Easter to everyone this weekend. And Franny, lovely to have you back with us.
Yeah, lovely to be here. And next week will be quite exciting too with all the
Yes, look forward to next week. And as I say, have a good weekend.
But everyone should feel very encouraged. It's a very high level they're all working at now, isn't it, Jeff?
They're doing much better, They're really
totally.
They were definitely getting the students getting the level of the fit towards the end of that opposite week 2 and week 3. So no, they're doing really well. And let's hope that the students are starting to play a bit face-to-face as well, maybe. Because that's always helpful. All right, Freddie.